and reaching what is today Vladivostok. However, Russia never wholly gave up its ambitions in this area. It seized the opportunity provided by China's 19th century period of weakness and annexed the Outer Manchurian territories, which make up its present-day borders. The 1860 Treaty of Peking formalized this annexation. Tensions over Port Arthur, now the Lushankou district, followed. Again, a weak China was forced to cooperate with Russia's aims on its historical territory. Relations in the 20th century were even tenser. In 1929, the Soviet Union fought the then Republic of China for control of the Chinese Eastern Railway in Manchuria. Succeeding in the effort, relations improved when the Chinese Communist Party seized power in 1949, resulting in a formal military alliance between the two largest communist countries. However, they quickly deteriorated again after Joseph Stalin's death. The alliance ended in 1961. In 1969, a 7-month border war broke out in the Far Eastern areas that had been under dispute for 3 centuries. The border issue was not fully settled until the 2000s. Aside from these border tensions, the two countries often slighted one another over ideological disagreements. For example, China accused the Soviet Union of having a phony commitment to communism. Things are radically different today. The Soviet Union's collapse led to the era of American hegemony on the world stage, a reality that neither country was fond of, but had no power to do anything about individually. To make a change to the international order, both would need to swallow their pride. In 1997, Yen Zemin and Boris Yeltsin, then the leaders of China and Russia respectively, signed an agreement. This was not a formal alliance, but it laid the foundation of the two countries' strategic partnership today. The declaration is
staying with the theme of mental health. Do you think we will in the future be able to modify our biology to make us less susceptible to yeah, I mean this is more speculative, so just big qualifier. That's why it's like, yeah, the synthetic biology piece is probably 5 to 10 years behind where we are with AI, but it follows the same trajectory, which is that the capabilities are getting cheaper and easier to use, and you need less technical expertise to participate. So, we've now been able to read human genome and understand the content of DNA, or at least be able to transcribe DNA, and then in time map that to its functional properties. We're now increasingly able to edit that DNA and actually print new forms of DNA. So we're just beginning to wrap our heads around engineering biology and create new experiences. And as you can see from the history of our species, we've created drugs to suppress or enhance certain capabilities. And broadly speaking, they've been incredibly crude. They have global effects on our brain and lots of side effects. And so, but what you should expect is that we're going to hone in on more and more precision with respect to our ability to engineer these things, And then we're going to have this interesting question around, again, inequality of who gets access first, and is it desirable, and at what point does it cross a threshold of no longer being, human? At what point is it like majority edited? I don't think we're going to face that in the next 15 to 20 years, but if you look out over a 30 to 40 year period, this seems inevitable, and I think it's quite likely that we'll be able to enhance it.
endorsed a vision for a multipolar world. Yeltsin said, "Someone wants to dictate order in the world, and we want a multipolar world. These poles constitute the foundation of a new world order." At a time when America's global hegemony was at its peak, the words seemed to ring hollow, but it was a statement of intent for things to come. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin have both echoed the language laid out in the 1997 declaration. Both leaders oppose what they view as two prevailing features of the American-led global order: unipolarity and universality. Unipolarity is the idea of American hegemonic status within the international system, where it has the power to do what it wants on the world stage with little opposition. Both Moscow and Beijing believe the current international order gives Washington far too much power, and they mean to change that arrangement. Their aim is to create a world where they have a far greater say in international affairs, and where the balance of international power would not be as lopsided in favor of the United States. This is what Xi meant when he spoke of his opposition to unilateral sanctions in his speech at the October 23 Belt and Road Forum. Because the United States commands so much economic power with the dollar as the world's reserve currency, the sanctions